Some people are 25 and already look emotionally tired. Not old physically, just tired. You see it in their face, in the way they react to little things, in the way they laugh for 2 seconds, then go right back to stress again. And then there's that one person, could be 40, 50, even 70. But somehow they still got that spark. Their energy feels fresh. Being around them feels easy. They don't force anything. They don't look like life completely destroyed them. And you sit there thinking, how are they still like this? Because let's be honest, life hits everybody. Stress hits everybody. Pain hits everybody. Disappointment hits everybody. So why do some people become bitter, while others somehow become lighter? That's what Carl Jung understood better than most people. He believed people don't age mainly because of time. They age because of emotional weight. And once you really understand that, you start seeing people completely differently. Suddenly you realize some people are carrying 15 years of anger in their body. Some are carrying heartbreak they never healed from. Some are exhausted from pretending to be somebody they're not. That pressure changes people. It changes the eyes, the energy, the face. But emotionally healthy people, they do a few things differently, and these habits literally keep them younger from the inside out. Not fake young, not social media young. I'm talking real aliveness, and the scary part. Most people don't even realize they lost it. Some people lose their youth long before wrinkles ever show up. You can see it in their eyes, the exhaustion, the bitterness, the emotional heaviness they carry everywhere. And Carl Jung believed something most people still ignore today. The mind and soul shape the face more than time does. Think about it. Two people can be the exact same age. One looks peaceful, the other looks completely worn out. Why? Because emotional health changes the way energy moves through the body. Stress tightens the face. Resentment hardens the eyes. Fake living drains the spirit. But emotionally healthy people, they move differently. And no, they're not perfect people. They cry. They get hurt. They get disappointed too. But there are certain things they do that stop pain from living inside them forever. That's the difference. And today, we're talking about the 3 things emotionally healthy people do that secretly keeps them younger than everyone else. And trust me, the third one, that one changes everything. Because most people are emotionally exhausted without even realizing it. So relax, get comfortable, and while you watch this, I want you to think about somebody in your life who just seems naturally youthful, not childish, alive. There's a difference. Now let's talk about the first thing emotionally healthy people do differently. 1, they don't store emotions for years. This right here. This is probably the biggest reason some people age fast. Stored emotions. People walking around carrying pain from 10 years ago like it happened yesterday morning. And the scary part? A lot of people think this is normal. They think being emotionally strong means pretending nothing affects them. So what do? They bury everything. They smile while stressed, laugh while depressed, say, "I'm fine," while emotionally collapsing inside. And eventually, the body starts speaking what the mouth refuses to say. You see it in the tired face, the low energy, the constant irritation, because emotions don't disappear when ignored. They stay. Jung talked deeply about this, especially the idea of the shadow, the parts of ourselves we suppress, the anger we pretend we don't have, the sadness we never process, the pain we hide because we don't want to look weak. But buried emotions don't die. They grow roots. And emotionally healthy people understand this. That's why they release emotions instead of collecting them. Notice something. Healthy people cry when they need to cry. Not performative crying. Not social media crying. Real release. They don't feel ashamed for being human. And honestly, that alone keeps them lighter than most people. Because some people are emotionally carrying their childhood, their ex, their failures, their regrets, all at the same time. That's heavy. Imagine carrying invisible luggage every single day. Eventually, your face shows it, your body shows it, your energy shows it. And let's be real for a second. You can almost feel when somebody has unhealed emotions, even if they're smiling. There's tension around them. Everything irritates them. Everything becomes personal. Small situations become emotional explosions. Why? Because the pain was never released. Emotionally healthy people don't let emotions rot inside them. They talk, they journal, they pray, they take walks, they sit with themselves honestly, and sometimes they disappear for a while just to emotionally reset. That's healthy. Not everybody needs constant noise. Some people stay young because they know when to disconnect before life overloads them. And let me say something that people don't talk about enough. Aging is not only physical exhaustion, it's emotional exhaustion too. Some people look older because they've been emotionally fighting for survival their entire life, trying to please everybody, trying to prove themselves, trying to hold everything together. That pressure changes people, but emotionally healthy people learned something powerful. Not every burden belongs to them, and that realization alone, it changes your nervous system. You sleep better, you breathe differently, your face softens, because peace literally changes the body. You know what's funny? The happiest-looking people are usually not the people with perfect lives. They're the people who stopped emotionally carrying everything. Big difference. And if you're watching this right now, I want you to really think about this. What emotion have you been carrying for way too long? Anger, regret, disappointment, loneliness. Because sometimes the thing making people look older isn't age, it's emotional weight. And emotionally healthy people learned how to put some of that weight down. That's the first thing. Now the second thing. This one is deep, because this is where most people secretly lose themselves. 2. They stop performing for everybody. You know what drains people faster than hard work? Pretending. Trying to be loved by everybody. Trying to fit into every room. Trying to sound perfect. Trying to look acceptable all the time. That kind of living will exhaust your soul. And emotionally healthy people eventually realize something. If you constantly perform, you slowly disappear. Jung believed one of the biggest problems in life is wearing masks for too long. Acting like somebody you're not just to survive socially. And wow, you see this everywhere today. People are tired because they're constantly acting. At work, different personality. Online, different personality. Around friends, another personality. No wonder people feel disconnected from themselves. That's exhausting. Emotionally healthy people stop trying to be everybody's favorite person. And the moment they stop, something crazy happens. They become lighter. You can literally see it. Their laugh becomes real. Their smile becomes natural. Their body relaxes. Because authenticity is emotionally freeing. Now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying emotionally healthy people become rude or careless. No. They just stop abandoning themselves for approval. That changes everything. Because a lot of people are emotionally aging from constantly seeking validation. Think about how stressful that is. Always wondering, did they like me? Did I say the wrong thing? Why didn't they text back? Why am I not enough? That constant mental pressure drains life out of people. Emotionally healthy people don't build their entire identity around other people's reactions. That's why they stay calmer. And honestly, some of the most youthful people you'll ever meet are people who became comfortable being themselves. There's a glow that comes with self-acceptance. You can't fake it. And let's talk about something real here. People who constantly perform eventually become emotionally numb. Because when you spend years hiding your real self, you forget who you actually are. That's scary. You start living based on reactions instead of truth. That's why emotionally healthy people protect their authenticity like gold. Sometimes they say no. Sometimes they disappoint people. Sometimes they leave spaces where they can't breathe emotionally. And yes, some people call them different because of it. But internally, they feel free, and freedom keeps people young. You know what ages people fast? Living trapped, emotionally trapped, socially trapped, mentally trapped, trying to be accepted by people who don't even accept themselves. That's draining. Emotionally healthy people stop chasing approval like oxygen, and once they stop, their energy changes. Have you noticed confident, peaceful people don't force attention? They don't beg to be seen. They just exist naturally. That energy is powerful. And funny enough, people are more attracted to authenticity than perfection anyway. Nobody relaxes around perfection. People relax around realness. That's why emotionally healthy people often feel magnetic without trying. Their energy feels safe. And you know what's beautiful? When somebody accepts themselves deeply, they stop competing with everybody. That removes so much stress from life. No fake flexing, no constant comparison, no silent jealousy eating them alive. Just peace. And peace keeps people youthful. Seriously. Look at somebody constantly angry, bitter, jealous, fake, competing with everyone. Then look at somebody emotionally grounded and comfortable with themselves. The energy difference is insane. One looks tense, one looks alive, and deep down, everybody wants that freedom. To stop pretending, to stop performing, to stop editing themselves every second. Because emotionally healthy people understand something powerful. You cannot heal while constantly betraying yourself. That line right there, that changes lives. And the third thing emotionally healthy people do, this one might be the most important of all, because this habit completely changes the way they experience life. 3. They don't let life turn them cold, this right here. This is the real secret, because life can harden people. Bad experiences, betrayal, heartbreak, stress, disappointment, after enough pain. A lot of people emotionally shut down. They stop trusting, stop feeling, stop opening up, and slowly, they become emotionally cold. Now here's the scary part. Some people call this maturity. But emotionally healthy people know the difference between wisdom and emotional numbness. Huge difference. Jung believed becoming whole meant staying connected to your humanity, not becoming emotionless. And honestly, the people who stay youthful the longest are usually people who never completely lose their softness. Not weakness, softness. There's a difference. They still laugh deeply, still feel joy, still get excited over simple things. You know those people who still dance in the kitchen, still smile at strangers, still get emotionally moved by music. Yeah, that energy keeps people alive inside. But a lot of people lose that over time. Life embarrasses their softness out of them, so they become guarded. Everything becomes sarcasm. Everything becomes emotional distance, and emotionally. They start aging fast, because humans are not designed to live emotionally disconnected forever. That emptiness shows up eventually. Emotionally healthy people protect their inner aliveness. That's why they do small things that reconnect them to life. They rest without guilt. They enjoy simple moments. They laugh loudly. They spend time around people who feel genuine, and this matters more than people think. Because joy is healing. Real joy changes your body chemistry. And no, not fake happiness, not forced positivity. Real joy. The kind that relaxes your spirit. You know what's interesting? Kids naturally have this energy. They're present, curious, emotionally alive. But adults slowly lose it. Bills, pressure, responsibilities, trauma. And eventually people become serious all the time. Emotionally healthy people refuse to completely lose their inner life. That's why they often seem younger, not because they're immature, because they stayed connected to wonder. That's rare. And honestly, some people are physically alive, but emotionally gone. Nothing excites them anymore. Nothing touches them anymore. They survive life instead of experiencing it. But emotionally healthy people still experience life, even after pain. That's courage, because staying open after disappointment is one of the hardest things a human can do. And yet, that openness keeps the spirit young. You ever notice how some elderly people still feel incredibly alive? You talk to them for 5 minutes and their energy feels fresh. Not because life was easy for them, usually it wasn't, but they never allowed suffering to completely poison their spirit. That's powerful, and I think that's what Jung really understood deeply. Healing is not becoming emotionless, it's becoming whole, being able to feel deeply without drowning in it, being able to experience pain without becoming bitterness itself. That balance changes people, and maybe that's why emotionally healthy people glow differently. Their nervous system isn't constantly fighting life. Their spirit isn't constantly at war. They've learned how to let life move through them instead of getting stuck inside them. That's youth, real youth. Not filters, not pretending to be 21 forever. Inner aliveness. And honestly, that energy is attractive at every age. People can feel it. You feel safe around emotionally healthy people. You feel lighter around them, because they're not emotionally leaking chaos everywhere. And let's be real, the world desperately needs more emotionally healthy people. People who know how to heal instead of hurt everybody around them. People who know how to stay soft without becoming weak. People who know how to protect peace instead of constantly creating drama. That kind of energy changes families, relationships, friendships, everything. And maybe while watching this, you realized something about yourself too. Maybe you've been carrying too much. Maybe you've been pretending too much. Maybe life has been slowly making you emotionally cold. But here's the beautiful part. You can reconnect with yourself again. You can heal. You can soften again. You can become emotionally alive again. And no, it's not too late, not even close. Because emotionally healthy people are not people with perfect lives. They're people who learned how to emotionally return to themselves, again and again. That's the secret. At the end of the day, the people who stay young the longest are usually not the people desperately trying to look young. They're the people protecting their peace, protecting their spirit, protecting their emotional health. Because emotional chaos ages people fast. But inner peace changes everything. So if this video spoke to you, I want you to comment this below, still alive inside. Because that's the goal. Not perfection, not pretending, just staying alive inside this world without letting it harden you completely. And if you made it this far, subscribe and join this community, because we're not just talking about psychology here, we're talking about becoming whole again, and trust me, that journey changes your entire life.